Hey guys, so I'm Abigail and I just want to share a minute or two of encouragement and scripture reading for us during this crazy time. And although this seems very new and crazy to all of us, I just want to shed light on the fact that this fear and just outbreak of panic is not new to God's people. And so today I'm going to be reading from Joshua 3. So a little context. Joshua has just been appointed leader of the Israelites. Moses has just died. So Joshua has just stepped into a huge role, and they are on the banks of the Jordan River. So the Jordan River is important because it signifies the covenant being fulfilled between God and Abraham hundreds of years before. So they're standing on these banks about to cross into the promised land, and Joshua is scared. He's just been appointed the new leader, and God says these words to him in Joshua 3:7. The Lord spoke to Joshua, "Today I will begin to exalt you in the sight of all Israel, so they will know that I will be with you just as I was with Moses." So what I took from this verse is that God is just really reminding Joshua of his presence in his life, just as he was present through Moses, through bringing them out of the exile in Egypt, out of slavery. He will bring them into the promised land, and he's promising Joshua his renewed presence. It's almost like a new covenant is being bestowed on Joshua, promising God's presence. So for me, and during this time, and for us, what I want to get from this verse is that the nearness of God is with us, and we have his presence. I once heard a speaker say the antidote to fear is reminding yourself of the nearness of God, and I think that is so true. And I think during this time we really have to remind ourselves that just as God led the Israelites out of slavery into a promised land, and eventually, as we read later in Joshua, they defeat all of these Canaanite enemies. Right now the enemy facing us is this thing called the coronavirus that it's craziness. It really is. And so there's also a poem that Lord Byron wrote about this that I really love, and its last stanza says, "How long by tyrants shall thy land be trod? How long thy temple worshipless, O God?" So when he writes about how long will tyrants trod the land, I think of the tyrant being this virus right now, right? It's infecting our land, it's taking us over. But then his last verse really hits home when he says, "How long thy temple worshipless, O God?" So during this time, I just really want to remind us that though it feels like, how is the sovereignty of God in this? How is this virus taking over the world part of this plan, part of this good plan? Well, maybe it's because our temple is worshipless, and God is instilling these worship habits back into us. How long are we going to pray empty phrases and vain words to him? I think he's really trying to revive the church, honestly. So yeah, just let these words sink with you and just be reminded of God's presence during this time.